Hello, everybody. Ciao, ragazzi. The TheMilanGuys podcast is back for the 2020-2021 season. This is our first show, and I want to say, since the end of July, so right when the season ended, 2019-2020 season that lasted almost a full year, but we're back. TMG are ready to discuss. Milan are actually starting to play like a real team again, so it's nice to have another show. I'm with TMG Marco and TMG Umbi. Ciao, guys. What's going on?
What's up, guys?
What's going on? Been a while, but happy to be back.
Been a while.
It's been a while. Let's get right into it, guys. So I put the chats in here, so if any of the listeners want to put a message in here, we can talk about it. So let's talk about it right away. We've played 7 matches in Serie A, and we've played 3 in Europa League. We have 5 wins, 2 draws in Serie A, and they have 2 wins and a thumping loss in the Europa League. But however, I'll just start it off like this. If someone told you in September that at the international break in November, Milan would be top of the Serie A table with 5 wins and 2 draws, would you not take that? Of course you would.
What do we Interisti call it? The November Scudetto?
Yeah.
We won it.
Yeah, we already won it. We won it.
Technically, like Inter, we've won 7 Scudetti.
Exactly.
It's all
Exactly.
We can add a couple more stars on our shirt now.
Exactly. Yeah, we can add. Yeah, we can already chop this one up and put a section on it. November.
Exactly. So 5 wins, 2 draws, 16 goals for, 7 against. Unfortunately, 5 out of those 7 goals came in 2 matches. So we've got a lot of clean sheets, but not recently, which is a problem. Has been an issue as of recent.
I think we know why.
We started the season with obviously Bologna, Crotone, and those were clean sheets that has to be done, have to be accomplished. But obviously, when against Roma, that was just a mess of a game. At 3-3, it was just a weird match, honestly. And then with Hellas Verona, I'll be the first one to say it was very unlucky going down 2-0 to Hellas Verona yesterday. Those 2 goals are both own goals. Like the first one hit off the bar, hit off Gigio's back, then hit off, I think was it Gigio or was it Calabria on both times? I think it might have hit Calabria and went in again.
Yeah,
so it was like
he got a long slander on Twitter yesterday.
No, for me, he had a good match. I'll be honest with you. For me, he had a good match. So it was very unlucky. And the other one, it was a harmless shot. The guy shot, it hits off Donnarumma's back of his heel, and it goes into the corner of the net. And you even saw his reaction after. He's like praying to God. He's like, come on, are you kidding me? Two own goals in 20 minutes. And honestly, Hellas Verona didn't create anything. They created 1 chance all games early in the second half. It was 1 chance they created.
Well, it's like you said, because like that Roma game, I think it was just a mess overall. Like the referee decisions and all.
Yeah, the referee changed the match on that one on the Roma game. But yesterday the referee, I mean, you have to obviously look at it too. Milan had 2 goals disallowed.
Well, I think yesterday we were just unlucky because
a little bit unlucky.
Like own goals basically, and then we hit the post. We had the missed penalty. We had so many over 20 chances created, and we can only score 2 goals. So I think it was just bad luck. And then regarding that Europa League game, we conceded 3 goals. I think that game was the game that we just screwed up defensively completely.
I think I think Pioli didn't put a strong enough lineup on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, though, I think the penalty was very soft to make it 1-0. And when you make it 1-0 like that, it changes the match because then Leo can sit back more. Yes. I think that penalty was weak, and obviously it changed the match. But when we came out in the second half, Donnarumma was at fault for the second goal, but it was just a disaster and maybe a wake-up call. Just to go over some stats on Milan Hellas Verona, 66% possession for Milan, 34 total shots compared to Hellas Verona's 7, 28 chances created for Milan compared to Hellas Verona's 5. We had 4 big chances. We had 420 accurate passes. Verona had 180. Think about that. A lot of pass success. We had 14 corners, guys, to their 1. And just another stat, we haven't scored in 50 corners this year. We had 50 corners in Serie A. We haven't scored 1 of them. I can't remember the last time we scored a goal for corner was Piontek's goal against Atalanta 2 years ago.
No, that's not. That has to be.
That's the truth.
That just shows you that we need to start stepping up.
And listen, the only exception is in the derby when Ibra scored, it was a corner, but it wasn't directly because Kessie touched it and then Ibra put it in.
Yeah.
But off a corner, so cross it, head it in, one touch. That's crazy.
We have big guys. It's not like we don't have big guys. Like
Ibra's a menace in there, but it's just
unless
like our expected goals were 3.54 that game.
I know. Thanks for that comment. That's crazy. And that Hakan goal, by the way, a lot of pictures circulating of that. What the hell was VAR looking at? Because apparently he was onside because the picture that they used, Leao, was it Leao or no? Who gave the ball in? I forget. Was it Leao? Yeah, Leao. It was Leao. Leao. The picture was the ball was off of his foot already. So they said, wait, you got to put that back to when it actually came off of his foot because
I'm just right now.
Are you looking at it?
Yeah, it's very close between him and whoever number 3 is. DiMarco. It was like
it's DiMarco.
Very close. But now, like, it was like, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know if you saw, but in the Leeds game, probably not.
I saw it. I didn't actually see the clip. I saw someone tweeting about it on Twitter.
Patrick Bamford was literally because he pointed at where he wanted the ball.
Oh my god!
Exactly. His full arm was extended, and like his shoulder, because now like shoulder is part of like play.
Okay, but what?
Part of play, like that means you're offside now.
Okay, so but how is that? How does that make sense? It should be only playable parts of the body that are offside.
Well, the top of your arm is a playable part. You can control it with the top of your arm.
Yeah, I guess. But if it's your hand though, like you can't play with your hand. So if you're pointing, like
no, but like he was like his arm was like a foot and a half, but like the top of his arm.
I didn't see it.
It was noticeably like offside. If you actually go with the rules, like
I'm just looking at the match ratings for each player. Like Donnarumma had a garbage match rating. Calabria didn't have a good one.
I think Kessie for me and Benasser. Surprisingly, people may say Benasser didn't have a good game. I thought he had a good game.
He was pretty good. Honestly, though, I have no idea how, but Hakan was the man of the match.
For you?
For everybody. He was the man of the match according to all the ratings.
Really? Dude, Zeta Little Sports gave him a 5.5.
I know, but everybody else gave him an 8.4. And literally, the man of the match was Marco Silvestri in net. He made 3 unbelievable saves. Unbelievable.
He is going to have a very good future. Like, Juventus catch him up after Szczesny leaves. And it's going to be either Juve or Inter, man. Like, he's a very
it might be Inter because Handanovic is like 36.
That's true. I think Inter.
Exactly. But anyway, so Zlatan had a 7.9 match rating. Listen, Zlatan, I love Zlatan. However, he didn't have I wouldn't even say he had a bad game yesterday because Zlatan doesn't really have that many bad games. Like he kind of gives you, you know what he's going to give you every game. True, however, the penalty miss makes it look like he had a worse game. That penalty was atrocious, and I think it's time to give Kessie the penalties because that's 3 in a row that Ibra's missed. 3. That's a lot.
Do you guys ever remember Kessie missing one? I don't.
He missed one. He missed one.
Like his first year with the club.
He missed one. No. It wasn't. It was the second season. His second season, he missed one. It was against Hellas Verona.
Oh, it was.
But it was against Hellas Verona 2. I remember the game. But we were up. It was the game that Andre Silva scored the winner in the 83rd minute. So it was 2-1 Milan. And then we got a penalty in the 92nd minute. And Kessie missed. So it wasn't really that influential in the match because we were about to win anyway. There was like 30 seconds left in additional time. But Kessie missed that. But that was the only one he's made. He scored every single.
Or Chievo Verona.
It might have been Chievo. It might have been Chievo or Hellas.
Because they were like 2-0 at that point. I remember like Andre Silva scored and Cutrone scored like really, really close to one another. Like in the
No. That was a different game then because it was when Andre Silva. So remember when Andre Silva scored that header against Genoa in the 95th minute?
Yeah, that was the best.
Listen, I was actually at Milan Club Toronto for that. He scored that goal in the next week. So that was his first Serie A goal. It took until March to do it.
Yep.
And then the next week he scored the winner against whichever Verona it was in the 83rd minute. And then Kessie got a penalty.
I'm pretty sure Chievo.
For the listeners there, you can put in the chat Putti, Saudi, or whatever. Do you remember Kessie missing any other ones? I think that's the only miss he's had. Put it in the chat if you think of anything else, for anybody who's listening here. But yeah. Anyway, so
yeah, go ahead.
Like Hellas Verona, don't get me wrong. Hellas Verona is a strong team. They're strong. They got a point against Juve.
He's a very, very intelligent coach.
Yeah, you look at Juric. He's a good coach. He's
very. I can't for him. Like to me, he's one of those like low key coaches that like actually put up. Like he was given the time to like put up, like do something well with the team he had, with the organization they had. They got him a nice little keeper. They got him a nice number 9 as like Nikola Kalinic, and like the whole team is playing well under him.
They have a lot of good players like Barak. They have Barak. They have
Barak's been on form lately.
And they have Lazovic. They have Zaccagni. They have Di Marco. They have Lovato. The Silvestri, of course. They have.
But it's a good group of guys.
No, it's a good team.
I don't think they'll get far. I think they'll probably finish the highest they finish is like 9th, like how they usually do.
They'll probably finish. They can maybe compete for a 7th place finish if they win. If they keep winning,
maybe.
I don't think so, because obviously you got like the firepower. You got the firepower of Lazio once Immobile is healthy. Yeah. You got Inter that's hopefully they implode, but we know they most likely won't.
I think Inter will still finish top 4.
Yeah, so do I. I think it's going to be Inter, Napoli, Milan, and I honestly think it's going to be Rome.
I have to say I agree with
the drops.
Yeah,
I don't know. Juve look weak. Juve look weak. Like it's like Juve are weak.
One bad game and they don't get 3 points.
I think Juve's dominance, like especially because Pirlo is such a young coach and stuff like I don't know. I think Napoli look very strong this year. Like
Napoli is amazing. They got Bakayoko and they was just over. Like they have one of the most complete teams in the entire league.
Yeah, and they have a good coach too.
Yeah. Imagine if Victor Osimhen actually scored goals too.
Well, Victor Osimhen is kind of like one of those like squad players.
Yeah.
He's like one of those players that like creates space for others. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of but he is a goal scorer though. He is a goal scorer.
He's a modern day 9.
Well, he's the guy that Napoli's been missing because Milik
Milik sucks.
Yeah, he wasn't the guy for them. So Osimhen has been fantastic. Since we're on the topic of like standings, as of now we're in first place. But realistically, we don't think we're gonna stay in first place by the end of the season. If we
I don't know. I obviously I did a poll on the Twitter account earlier today, and we're gonna talk about them right now. So the one I did a couple polls, but the last one I did was where do you see Milan finishing in Serie A this season? I did it for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And there's 160 votes on it right now.
Okay.
So I said the options were top 2, top 4, and then in between 5 and 7. I think that's pretty fair. I don't think we should drop past 7. I hope not. And most people, 18% said top 2, 75% said top 4, and then 7% said 5 to 7. So a lot of people believe that we can finish top 4 this season.
Hopefully.
And I also did a couple other. I'll mention the other polls too. So I said. And this one, I thought, I wonder if we would have beat Hellas Verona, this answer would be different. But I said, how comfortable are you with this Milan side going into the international break? 260 votes. It's almost dead even at very comfortable and meh average. And 16% said not comfortable. So I think Milan fans Milanisti are just so used to failure over these last years that they kind of know that maybe a downfall could be coming, so they're not going to say I'm not comfortable with the team yet. I'd probably say meh, average. I'm not that comfortable, but I'm not totally completely stressing out yet.
I agree because I'm not 100% confident because if we have multiple guys, say there's another
injuries,
COVID, and then we're going to be suffering again. And I was going to bring up too, without Ibra, guys, Antonio Cassano made a comment.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that. Saying that without Ibra, Milan's nothing. We're just an average team. Which I do have to say, I agree with Antonio Cassano because we look lost without Ibra.
Of course we do.
And he's like you see him, like you said, with him on the field, even though he's not scoring, when he's off the ball, his movement is just
fantastic. Exactly.
you see it.
Well, going back to standings, if I may add, right now I'm just on Betway because I want to see like what the odds are for outright winners. Obviously, you'll have Juve as favorites with 2.62 times your cash back or times what you bet.
Mm-hmm.
Inter at 4.0 times what you at 4.0 times what you bet. Napoli 6.0 times what you bet, and Milan 7 times what you bet. So Milan's top 4. They're above Atalanta. They're above Roma. They're above Lazio. Lazio's at 34 times your bet. Well, like,
oh wow,
and like, dude, Lazio's only 6 points. All they need is Immobile to start playing again.
I know, but Atalanta don't look as strong this year. Like they lost to Sampdoria, like, and they lost like pretty bad to Sampdoria. They got killed by Napoli, and then Liverpool came in. Liverpool came into Bergamo and literally destroyed them.
Yeah, well, like Napoli should be tied for first right now if like that game against Juve doesn't.
Well, assuming they win that game.
But we'll find out tomorrow, according to what they're saying.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think if anything, they're not gonna. They might get it might get postponed.
I might see them play. That would be a great game.
Well, I mean, like for the good of competition, right? Like you want to see.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll move on with the polls. I said so. The next poll is how impressive you've been with Stefano Pioli so far. 80% said he's great, 20% said he's average, and zero votes for him being poor. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think Pioli's done a good job. It's nice to have some continuity with the formation. We play the same formation. You can like obviously we have some players like they're like rotating like in the 3 behind the striker, but you kind of know what the formations or what players will be playing every week. Like against Napoli, I kind of know if everybody's available who will be playing in that game. You know what I mean?
Like when you got to coach, you knew who at least 10 guys were going to be out of the starting.
Same thing. Yeah, exactly. Same thing. And we did well at Gattuso. So
we did.
Yeah, exactly. So and then I said, what are your thoughts on the defense?
In the 93rd minute.
Yeah. So I said, what are your thoughts on the defense? So 11% people said strong, 72% said average, and 17% people said poor.
I have to say, average because
average. It was good until the Roma game, and it kind of. But I mean, like a lot of that's due to Tatarusanu. Like we didn't have Donnarumma, and then Romagnoli hasn't really been him. So I don't think he's that. I
would not blame that game on Tatarusanu. Like
I don't know. I actually kind of blame that game on the referee. It kind of got out of hand. It could have been very comfortable.
Referee and players for that game, but ever since I think it's just a mentality thing for Romagnoli. I think
that guy has been very suspect.
No, but you know what though? He did say that I don't think he's at peak physical fitness because I saw a video someone tweeted that it was him running. It was like he's not running as quick as he was, and I think
when they compared the video with him running, chasing down Ronaldo.
Exactly. So I think, and Romagnoli said in an interview, he said that his injury was worse than they suspected it to be. He was supposed to return quicker than he did. He was supposed to be back. Remember when he got hurt in July? They said he'll be back for the start of the season for sure. Remember, he didn't come back till beginning of for the derby, right? The derby.
Yeah.
So he took a long time. The derby was October 10th? Is that what it was?
I believe so, yeah.
Something like that, around there. So Romagnoli took an extra 4 weeks almost, and he said in the interview that it was a serious injury. And usually when a guy pulls up like that with no contact, I remember it was against Sassuolo, you always get worried. He's like, oh crap, because there was it wasn't a bang, right? It was a twist or a pull or a sprain or a strain or a tear, right? So it was scary, and I think that it's going to take him a little bit longer. And then he pulled out of the starting lineup with a muscular problem. So hopefully the international break. But he did get called up to the national team. I'm assuming he's not going to go. Hopefully not. The international break's stupid right now anyway. They shouldn't even be having it.
I agree. There's no point.
It's
so
very it's just
that gives Romagnoli 2 weeks to heal before Napoli. Because obviously we need him at peak fitness. I mean, Gabbia has been a very good substitute. Don't get me wrong. He's been very solid in the matches he's played against Bologna, Crotone, and the Europa League. He's been fine. However, you want Romagnoli in there. He's experienced. He's been playing with Milan for 6 years now, and it's nice to have him and Donnarumma, and even Simon Kjær has been a total leader of the team since arriving.
Great.
It's nice to have a lot of voices back there, especially because we have a lot of young players like Rafael Leao, Benacer, Kessie, Salamakers.
to have some consistency with your second center back. Well, I'd argue, and I always say that he's our best center back. He's our best overall talent. Kier.
Yeah, Simon Kier is a great defender. He's amazing.
I think he's better than Romagnoli. He's a better
defender. I think they're better at different things. So I don't know. I think they complement each other very well.
Well, my understanding is Calabria. I think he's been phenomenal since the start of the season.
Calabria is a player that
no. I think he's playing better than what he usually does, which is a very, very great.
No,
and I think he needs to continue it because he's called up now to the national team, which I'm very happy.
Well, yes, 40 other players.
Yeah, so many.
Yeah, but still, it's still an accomplishment for someone to get called to.
Yeah, confidence, man. The guy goes into the national team saying, "Oh, that's awesome! I literally just I got my job back." And hey, like that right side on Italy, like who's he competing against? Florenzi for that right side?
Yeah, Florenzi's over.
Yeah.
Like, he's passed for me.
I don't know, man. He's been playing very, very good with PSG lately. Very good. Like it just him and team together there in PSG. They've been
doing. If he steps it up, then I can't complain because he's for the national team. So better for us.
Well, exactly.
But Calabria was a player that he was a hot name to leave Milan in the summer in the Mercato. So to see him kind of step up, especially because Conte's like he's not even he's pretty sad as a player.
I feel bad for the kid. Like I don't think he's.
Well, he also plays scared. He plays scared, right? Because
he doesn't want to tackles anymore. Because this guy's already ruptured his ACL 3 times?
Yeah, 2 times. I believe.
2 times.
He tore his ACL 2 times, and he's had other injury problems along the way. So
hamstring, thighs, poor guy.
Well, now I want to ask you guys because I was thinking about this. I think our issue right now, midfield, which I think our 2 starting midfielders, no question, is Kessie and Bennacer. But now we cannot be playing those guys all the time. What I've been seeing is Tonali, he comes in, he would have a good game, he would have bright moments, but then there's mistakes that he would do, which I understand because he's very young still, he's learning. Yeah. But I think we suffer in that midfield because we don't have another midfielder that can come in and help the team. Because I said if we got Bakayoko, that would have been massive. And I just
that would have.
You know, and I think we need to get another midfielder in January for sure because I see Kessie, that guy's a tank. He doesn't stop. I love the guy. And Bennacer too, but it's just too much. And then to rely on Tonali at a young age.
I'm not sure Tonali's ready. He hasn't really shown me much.
He's not ready.
Yeah, like how you said. Like he's had some bright moments, but overall, like I like just like reading like I'm sure you guys read on Twitter. It's like, wow, we're gonna be paying 40 million euros for just like some highlights mid-game, like how like Paqueta was. Like we're paying 40 million euros for like a highlight reel that can last maybe 4 minutes throughout his entire career. Like no, man.
About Tonali?
Yeah, like I'm just comparing like the hype like.
Okay, but the problem is Tonali's a good midfielder. You saw it at Brescia. I watched a lot of Brescia last year because I thought they were a fun team because they had Balotelli, they had Tonali. I watched a lot of them because I just wanted to see how they were in Serie A.
So free goal against Genoa too.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he was good. Like he's a good player. It's just I think that there's a lot more pressure at Milan than there is at Brescia, right? Tons of more pressure. At Brescia, you can play free. He plays freely. He's the best player on the team. When he comes to Milan, he's not the best player on the team anymore.
Yeah. He needs that confidence back.
But he's young. It's okay. He's young. It's fine.
I'm glad there's still someone like Ibra. There's someone like Kier on the team that like, you know, like Ibra is like the only professional soccer player or the second professional soccer player to have scored in at least 4 decades. Honorable mentions to, I forget the guy's name. He's in the Japanese league. I think he's like 52 years old.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
He played back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like Kier's up and down. Like remember, like he went to Lille, how he was saying in his interviews, and he was reborn there. Went to Fenerbahce, if I remember correctly. Then at Atalanta, at Sevilla, he was playing well again.
And then we got him for like, what, 2.5 million euro? Oh my god, that's literally days of the Condor.
Exactly.
Anyway, but in January we'll have a podcast before then, obviously. But
hopefully,
we'll need a midfielder. We need another midfielder, especially if we're in a top 4 position at that time, and we're competing in Europa League, you need some more squad depth. You have to, and see, this is the thing. Remember we talked about it on the podcast. This is why you keep a guy like Krunic. You don't sell him. Why are we going to sell him for?
Yeah,
he's a player. He's a squad player who can play as a trequartista. He can play in the midfield. He plays on the left sometimes, and he played really well against Celtic when he played there. And he's a good. Krunic is not a bad player. He's not a bad squad player at all.
I remember his the season before Milan bought him. He led the league in expected assists.
Like, he was good.
He's a machine. The guy knows what to do. And
he's good for Bosnia-Herzegovina. And that's when you know, like, if a player is really good for his national team every single time he goes international break, you know that he's a good player. You know what I mean? Like, you know that player is important.
Yeah, you know it's not just fluke. Like, the guy's been doing that. The guy's been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like, it's tough. But we'll see. And we'll see what we have to do in January. We'll see where we are as a team. Maldini and co have a lot of work to do, and it's nice having some, like, a lot of commentators now. You listen to them; they talk about our squad depth a lot, which is weird because they never had that talk. It's like, oh wow, you look at Milan bench; they have Ante Rebic, they have freaking Brahim Diaz. It's like, wow, okay.
I think we need to buy him for 25 million.
I buy Brahim Diaz.
I think he's been, well, obviously I'm not going to include Ibra into this because no doubt, like, no matter what Ibra does, even if he misses the next 15 penalties, like,
our best player,
he's regardless, like, he's our number one player. I think it's him and Donnarumma, player 1 and 2 interchangeable. And then I think Brahim Diaz has been spot on this season. Like, whenever we need a bright spot, like, a little
balance, his balance is impeccable.
Like, he showed the skill with City, he showed the skill with Madrid, but Zidane, like, obviously you can't blame Zidane. Like, he had to go up against Ronaldo, Bale, Hazard, Asensio, Isco when Isco would play a free roll on the right side, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo. Like, it was just a never-ending cycle of wingers that they'd bring in, and I'm glad now he's sticking it to the man. He's like, no, this is what you had. Now you're gonna lose it. Like, I find, like, why go back? Why go back to Real Madrid? Like, you're happy here. He grew up a Milan fan. He went to tons of games.
Like, that's the same with Dalot, because
I like him too. I like him too.
And when he's played, I like him on the left side though.
Well, when he played on the left against Sparta Prague, he looked very energetic.
He did, man. Like, those little outside of the boot crosses.
Oh, that was disgusting. That was disgusting.
Portuguese connection right there was beautiful.
Well, you know what though? Like, Diogo Dalot, like, you know how much he was bought for?
Yeah, it was like 40 million euros.
And that's why I'm like, why would these guys give up on him? But Milan News have reported that
Moncada has one of the best scouting, like, reports in the entire world. He's got scouting networks everywhere. Like, that guy's been finding us, like, genius little players.
I know, but the thing is though, is that Milan News tweeted that, like, there's been some talk with Dalot and Brahim Diaz entourage to take him at the end of the season. And that's why I say it's like, oh, it's a dry loan. Screw this. What a bad move. No. Just because it's a dry loan doesn't mean that they didn't say a gentleman's agreement. Okay, by February, March, we'll talk about it and we'll see how the performance is and we'll see what kind of deal we can make in just because it's not an option to buy right now doesn't mean, especially during COVID when the money is what I mean? Like, everything's, like, a lot of teams are penny pinching.
Exactly.
So just because, like, there's a lot of gentlemen's agreements that, and if anybody knows anything about gentlemen's agreement, it should be Milanisti with Galliani. He was Mr. Gentleman's Agreement. Well, I mean,
I scratch your back, you scratch my back.
Exactly. I remember when Galliani had dinner with Tevez and then he went to Juve.
Oh my God, man, that was. I really think that Tevez Robinho link up could have been something phenomenal.
Well, Tevez was good. Obviously, he was good. Do you remember when the real banter, is when there was a huge derby between Milan? There's a huge derby between Milan, Juve, Roma, Inter for Juan Manuel Iterbe. Remember him?
Yes.
Oh, 30 million euros to Rome.
Every team wanted him.
Milan was close too. I remember, I was in Italy during that summer, and reports every single day on La Gazzetta, on all the main newspapers there. Oh, Milan offers 35 million plus bonus.
Yeah,
Juventus offering the same thing but with higher wages, Inter promising more playing time. Then he goes to Rome, and it just shocks you because you're like, wow, okay, so it went from being one of the most underrated squads. Jorginho went to Napoli for 8 million euros, which was like the most WTF moment. Like
from Verona.
From Verona.
Well, so look at just I have his I have Iturbe's card up here. So Verona that 1 year, 13-14. That was with Luca Toni too, right? Yeah.
Luca Toni and Jorginho.
You remember that last game when Verona beat Juve?
Yeah, Luca Toni.
Beautiful.
Luca Toni. Okay, he had 8 goals and 4 assists.
Milan.
So he had 8 goals and 4 assists. Moves to Roma, scores 1 goal and scores 3 goals the whole season, all competitions. Goes to Bournemouth on loan, plays 50 minutes. Goes back to Roma, scores 1 goal. Then stays at Roma till 2017. Does nothing. Goes to Torino, plays 600 minutes, scores a goal. And then he was off the map for 2 years. He didn't play, I guess, because there's nothing here from 2018-19, and now he's playing for Pumas.
Yeah, in
Mexico. So he didn't do anything for like 3 years.
Just shows you like you can be awful and then you can still get paid millions to do nothing.
Yep.
Or one
like, it's just funny looking back at that and thinking like, wow, like this was like the derby of Mercato derby between all these top teams in Italy at the time, and this is what, because like at that time, like Milan were going down, but we weren't awful yet because we played in the Champions League in 2013, so like we weren't crazy bad yet, you know. So
exactly.
So it's just crazy. We'll move on from that. I don't want to talk about the Mercato too much because it's kind of annoying. But we'll talk about the upcoming fixtures. So this is Milan's next. This is the schedule after the national break. So next Sunday, not next Sunday. Sorry, in 2 weeks, November 22nd, we got Napoli at the San Paolo. Tough match. It's gonna be a very tough match. Then we have Lille at Lille, another tough match. That's 2 tough matches in 4 days. And then we come back home against Fiorentina, another tough match. And then we come back at home against Celtic 4 days later. So our next 4 matches are Napoli, Lille, Fiorentina, Celtic. It doesn't get any easier. It doesn't.
Yeah.
This international break is nice because I like when I see Theo when he doesn't get called up for France, right? I love it. It's better that way.
Yes, I do agree because
I don't want him to.
Well, now obviously, but like if not, like the poor guy, like he's
no, you're right, but I don't want to get hurt. I don't want him to get hurt on international break. I don't want to get hurt or sick. Stay at home, relax, because he needs rest. He's a good player. He's an important player. He needs to work on his finishing, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
And then so anyway, after that Celtic match, we then go to Sampdoria away, tough match. Sparta Prague away. Another tough match.
I wouldn't call Sampdoria away a tough match anymore. Like they've been playing
Sampdoria away is always a tough match for me.
I say we can beat Fiorentina. Like even with Prandelli, with the news today that he's the new coach.
Yeah.
I don't see Fiorentina still doing anything because I just don't think like they have quality.
They actually have a strong squad. I'll be honest.
They had Castrovilli, they had Bonaventura, they have other guys. It's just I don't think they work well together unless Prandelli like he makes a miracle.
Exactly.
The big games for me is Napoli, Lille, Celtic, and I think those 3. I'm not worried about Fiorentina or Sampdoria, but those are must wins for me. But I think the biggest game, what's going to determine like the future, is Napoli Milan. That's going to be massive right there. That's going to determine a lot. And
just to go off your point, Marco, like then you would say the biggest game is Napoli, but like really like Milan's got to make sure they get the 3 points against Fiorentina and the 3 points against Sampdoria because Milan can lose to Napoli, Juve, Inter. They can lose to these guys, but they got to make sure all the smaller games or whatever. I don't want to throw any shade or disrespect to other teams, but any games where they should be expected to win, they need to bring home 3 points.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Like whatever. If they lose to Napoli, sure. Obviously, like the unbeaten season goes out the window.
I'd love a draw.
I'm fine with the draw too, but like Milan needs to host Fiorentina, and they need to absolutely demolish them on November 29th.
So you have to, and this is what I always say to friends and who like teams in other leagues. I've said it on the podcast before. being top 4 doesn't mean you beat all the top teams. Being top 4 means you beat all the teams you were supposed to beat. So meaning that in this Milan, if you look at it, we've gotten over the last couple of years, we've gotten some results against Lazio, a couple draws here and there, Roma, we haven't lost to every single time. But it's the teams when we almost won the Champions League, dropping points to Parma in the 90th minute to a Bruno Alves free kick. We drew. Who do we draw? We drew I remember I remember when Crotone was up a couple years, 2 years ago. We drew them 1-1 at Crotone.
Udinese beat us a couple times too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Udinese is, to be honest, we never win that fixture away to Udinese. I hate it. But I feel like maybe our luck's in a change, but we always struggle there, always. Anyway, but we played Genoa, Sampdoria. They have to be 2 wins. They're the inferior team, but then we play Sassuolo, and that's tough too.
Sassuolo, I think right now they play the most beautiful calcio that I think. Milan is attractive calcio with all the attacking.
I think De Zerbi is a great coach.
De Zerbi is phenomenal. Like you said, the coach of Verona and Sassuolo, those 2 guys, if you put them at a big team, I can see them doing well.
And if they keep doing well, they will get promoted to. They will. If Inter need a coach, if Conte gets fired, they might go for De Zerbi. I can see it.
Conte is just overrated, I think.
He is. He just gets paid €12 million a year.
Okay, see, I wouldn't go that far to call him overrated because
overpaid.
Every team he's gone to, he's had success. Like
but what about overpaid? How about that?
I think he's among the top 10 coaches.
I know, but €12 million. I don't think any coach would be getting that.
Well, Simeone is, I think, making like €20 million a year.
But I'll still say that's crazy. That I don't agree. He's overpaid.
Yeah, but it's like obviously a coach now has the leverage. You're thinking, okay, you want me? You want a guy that can just look at my track record? You got to pay me money. It's normal that coaches are going to do that. It's just a market of football. It's look at all the guys that Juve have. The top 5 Serie A earners I'm pretty sure the top 5 Serie A earners all Juve players. And it's you look at the squad and you're like, really, he's earning that much? It's based on the economy. It's based on how much money sport makes. And if you think about it, it's actually good, man, because that's actually more money that the less money the owners are making, that's more money that the players are making. So they're employees. So if you look at it in that way, yeah, it's pretty good trade-off, pretty decent trade-off.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Honestly, I just think that's we have this November and December is going to be tough. The rest of this November, Napoli, Lille, Fiorentina, Celtic, Sampdoria, Fiorentina, and then December, a game we play Parma at home on the 13th. That has to be 3 points, guaranteed. It has to be a guaranteed win. It has to be. You can't draw points to that because then we have a midweek game at Genoa and then Sunday at Sassuolo, and then we go for a Christmas fixture against Lazio. So it's and then we have the Christmas break. So, and then it doesn't get easier. We go Benevento, then Juve.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking back at this recent history, the recent seasons, the last 3-4 years, and the top 4 teams, the 4th place team every single year has gotten no more than 8, hasn't lost no more than 8 times.
8?
8.
So we basically have to average about 1 loss per
every 4 games.
Yeah, every 5. Maybe 5 or 6 would be nice.
Well, obviously, yeah.
But yeah, every 4 games.
Gotta make sure that Milan doesn't draw the 12 times Juve did when they started their reign. When Juve had I think it was 6 wins and 12 draws in the first 18 games of the season, and then they went down to the Montari goal, which led them.
If you can draw a lot of the top teams, that's great because then it doesn't let anybody go ahead of anybody. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of stays close.
If Milan can go to Napoli, or go to Napoli. If Milan can go to Napoli in the home of Maradona, the home of the god of football, and get 1 point, I'm happy.
Oh, I'd be celebrating the point.
Dude, that's 1 point. You just got to hope that, obviously, it'd be nice if Sassuolo doesn't win, because then that'd mean they leapfrog us.
Yeah.
Because they got actually, no, because, it would, because they have more goals.
Oh, actually, that's a good game. Sassuolo Verona next 22nd. That's a good game too.
That's going to be like a 2-0 or a 1-0 game for Sassuolo.
Honestly, Sassuolo has Verona, Inter, Roma, Benevento, Fiorentina. But like for me, no game is easy in Serie A. I'll tell you that right now. There's no easy. And you can ask any player who's playing every other league, and you can ask him. You can talk to Ronaldo. He says it's tough to find space in Italy here. It doesn't matter who you're playing.
It took
Ronaldo in history.
It took Ronaldo his first it took him 3 league games to finally score. And his first competitions were like Chievo, Sassuolo, and like
he couldn't score.
He couldn't score.
There's no space. There's not enough space. But now, obviously, you get used to it when you're a great player. And then you can find space with your coach and stuff like that, and tactically. But it's just simple as that. Like City has a tough league, and Milan are going to have to dig deep. And I think that with Ibra, we always can. With Ibra, I have confidence in a match.
He's the bright spot, but at the same time, we're cursed because if anything happens to him, he's injured or he's not playing. I think, guys, that's the falling point for Milan.
But sure, and that's why January. Like, are we gonna we haven't I saw that Lorenzo Colombo, Lolo Colombo, they call him Lolo. He hasn't touched the field in a long time. So obviously, I think he's playing Primavera too. I think.
Yeah, I think he's up and down because he's still eligible.
I think he's eligible. Yeah, is Maldini not eligible anymore?
He should be. He's 90. He's an.
He's 98. You know.
98. Probably not.
No, I don't think he's eligible anymore. But I think Lolo Colombo he's 18.
Exactly. Lolo Colombo's from 2001. No, 2002.
Yeah, 2002. I think.
Gosh,
crazy. But
holy steroids.
Yeah, he's
trying to pressata and mozzarella and pizza and pasta that guy's eating is ridiculous.
Honestly, we'll see. This Milan team is a dig deep, and I think Pioli has done a great job. And I think that, and even I don't know if you guys saw Juric's interview. He said Milan are he said in Italian, he said they're fantastic. He said the way they play. He said they're so tough to play against in his interview. He said Milan are fantastic. They're such a good team. And we do play some good football. I remember a lot of years we didn't have an identity of how we play, but now I kind of know what I'm going to see. I know the link-ups we're trying to do. I know what we're trying to do on the field. I think the Verona result was just the 2 own goals set us back, and obviously Verona sit back after that because they can. And we did penetrate them, though. We scored 1, and we scored 2 more disallowed. Hit a post, missed a penalty. Should have got another penalty because Leao got stepped on his ankle. Should have got, everybody was talking about that. Should have been another penalty. So it's just one of those things where, and I get it. People Milanisti are gonna get mad. I get freaking mad all the time. Everybody gets mad. We're not gonna be a perfect team. And I wish Mike was on the podcast too because he'd say the same thing. But
he's the most real. He's the most pessimistic optimist out of all of us. He'll see optimism, but then he'll be straight with you.
I know, but the problem is I think I have trust issues. With Milan.
What we've been through the past years, yeah.
What I mean, so when I see us draw Verona at home, that reminds me of the days when it said insert coin, game over, save AC Milan.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. I was thinking about this.
Sure.
Just right now, if Milan miss out on top 4 by a very, very marginal amount,
2 points,
less than 4 points.
Okay.
What do you think happens to Pioli?
You can't sack a coach. You can't. You have to have continuity.
Yeah.
You can't sack a coach after success because you know what? If we get 19 wins, 20 wins, 21 wins, and we don't get in top 4, that means the league is just really good this year.
72 to ensure. Well, last year was an outlier because everyone just became amazing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And Lazio and Juve were on par, and then the only reason Lazio didn't win was because I think they won. They got 3.
I think COVID break ruined them.
Yeah, COVID ruined them. If not, I would have celebrated a Lazio Scudetto.
I think Lazio would have won. But yeah, I look at Inter. They got in with 72 points.
Yeah,
I look at the year before that, it was 72.
Every other year, 72 points gets you at least 4th place. So last year it was 78 that got you 4th. I'm pretty sure.
And then even the year before that, it was 67 points got that.
Daniel Ambrosio saved them, man. A lot of Inter people talk crap about him, but I think he
saved them.
He is amazing. He's an.
I'm just looking at the Serie A seasons. Well, 2014-15, Milan were 10th place at 52 points.
Okay, what did Andrew Gravina. What's up, Andrew?
We finished 3 points ahead of Palermo. 3 points. You know who finished ahead of us? Torino. I think it was Ventura coaching him too.
Back in the day, yeah.
That's sad, man. We only had 6 more points than Hellas Verona. Like, we were close to relegation. We were closer to relegation than we were in the top 4.
Exactly. Okay, you see that question that Andrew put up?
No, I didn't. Let me see. Okay, hey Andrew, how's it going? Who do you want to see Milan sign in the January transfer window? Okay, so we talked about it a little while ago. I think,
but we didn't put any names up.
No, we didn't put any names because the reason why, Andrew, is because, like, with COVID, you just don't really know money wise how much, like, what are our funds going to be in January? That's a big question, right? What are we going to have? Who are we going to sell? Are we going to sell anybody? We need a midfielder. Need another midfielder. We have enough players in the 3 behind the strike. We have Akan, Brahim, Castellanos, Salamakers, Rebic, Leao. We have enough players there. We don't need anybody else there to sit there. And even Krunic can play in that 3. Yeah, we need a midfielder that is I don't like calling it like this, like a substitute for Kessie.
Yes, that's the main thing. Another midfielder for a substitute for Kessie, and then center back would be great.
A center back would be nice because I hope we get rid of if we get rid of Leo Duarte and bring in another center back. I'm just looking around the Serie A because we like to make transfers within Serie A a lot. Just everybody does. Like, if you look at this, I'd love Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu would be a great coup from Bologna. The problem is, no, you're not a big fan, but they want like 25 million for him. So I don't think that's
I'm not convinced by that. 25 million, especially now, that's a very important figure.
Yeah, but okay. Would you guys take someone like a Martin Cáceres?
No.
Okay. Would you guys take someone? Yeah, but
if we find a
low cost, has to be low cost.
Low cost, but someone like a center back who can do these long balls. Because Romagnoli doesn't do it as much. Kier does.
He used to do it, not anymore. I think Pioli doesn't want him to.
No, it doesn't look like that. It looks like Kier's the main guy doing it.
Yeah, because with Romagnoli, no matter what, he always looks at Teo and gives the ball to Teo, no matter what.
Yes.
He always looks left. But Kier has like the green light to kind of spray some balls here. And Andrew says, I would like to send a Vice Ibra personally, or a better right wing. So right wing would be something that to be honest with you, Castillejo is max a last 10, 15-minute player. But the problem is he does have some spark. Against Celtic, he looked very good.
He did.
There's an issue. So is he a decent squad player? I think he is a decent squad player. He can play in the Coppa Italia. He can play against like a Spezia in the last and a half against Spezia. But he can't play. He can't start, like, for example, against Napoli. He can't start. I actually don't mind Salamakers. I do not mind him. I don't.
A lot of people put memes on him. That guy is he's been one of our better players this year.
You can disagree, but he makes a lot of intelligent turns. He comes back on defense. It's a big thing. He comes back on defense, and that's something that Pioli. I don't know if you guys ever listen. Do you guys listen with the TV loud or no? Like when you watch a game, do you listen to what
of course.
Okay. I don't know if do you ever hear him yelling, Dai Leao, grande, Leao, grande.
This guy's a genius. Andrew, you're a genius, man. You're one of the few people that actually think he's sick. Salad maker is so useful. But if I answer Andrew's question, like, personally, I think what you need a defensive midfielder that can come in and just make sure that, like, if he's in, he's not going to make any defensive mistakes. And like right now, I'm just looking at the table, and there are guys from Genoa, from Udinese, from Crotone that are going to want out surely. And I think it's time for Milan to go for someone like Badelj, like how they wanted to.
That'd be a good sign, especially
Romulo. Low cost,
Romulo's good.
Very, very efficient players. They'll come on for their, against the weaker sides, against your Udineses, Genoas, Crotones, a Europa League if Milan have already won the first, via the first leg. Like something like that. Very, very cheap, very economic. Can also be like a dry loan.
You know what, though? You know what I was also thinking too? Torino. Because that team, I feel like a lot of the guys, the better players there, might not want to be there anymore. And listen, in their midfield, it's not great. But I like Thomas Rincon. I do.
He's a hard worker.
He would be the perfect
He's another really sick player on that team. I've always loved Bazzelli, but the guy looks like he phased out.
He definitely phased out. But
he hurt? He's hurt. I thought he tore his ACL.
Even just talking about like recent years, that guy's been like he's not really. Yeah, he's coming from torn ACL. So like,
but with what Andrew was saying with the right wing, I think, guys, what's going to make us a step above, because we have Leao and Rebic on the left, which I think that's great. The left.
Well, actually,
I think it's Brahim time. Brahim time.
In yesterday's match, I believe. So our substitutions, we took off. Let me go look again.
Brahim came for the right wing. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, you listen. Yesterday we took off. Let me see. We took off Salamaker at halftime for Rebic. Rebic went to the left. Leao went to the right. Did he not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So
Leao was taken out,
and then Leao was taken out for Brahim Diaz, and then Brahim Diaz played on the right. And then it was
then Peter Hauge came in.
Yeah, and then Hauge came for Çalhanoğlu. Brahim Diaz went to the middle, and Hauge went to the right. So that means that basically that I think a lot of these players are pretty like Brahim Diaz is pretty versatile because he's pretty versatile to play along those three, and I think so is Rebic and Leao. Obviously, Leao and Rebic are both right-footed, so honestly, Rebic needs to screw off with a step over sometimes. I'll be honest. Like it's not I'm like Greg, like he doesn't even look. He just does random step over. They work. They work.
I'm ugly doing those step over.
I know, but they work though.
Somehow they work. Sometimes they don't. I'm like, what is he doing?
I know, but Leao has one thing I love about Leao. He has a great stride when he runs. Oh my god, he has long legs.
We've been missing that for years, and we have Leao. You know, and it's such a joy to see him. Like the guy's smiling while passing players. I'm like, this guy.
It's kind of weird.
He was hilarious. He stopped. He stopped on the ball. He ran. He had a smile on his face.
I know that was gross. That was gross. That one movie did. I know exactly.
We were all saying like Milan wanted to give up on him because it was like, oh my god,
I never did
on this guy. Like, man, all he needed was some continuity. He needed a coach that knew how to deploy him. You know, Leao even said he likes playing wide a lot more because he has more space. And, you know, whatever. He's young. I'm sure he played FIFA. I'm sure he watched Ronaldinho highlight tapes.
Yeah, he does.
Little step overs. And you know what? If he wants to do them, he's doing them. He does it at times when it's not incredibly crucial, like where he can risk doing it. Like he's smart with the ball now, which I've seen. Yeah.
And then Andrew just said Nathan Nandez from Cagliari. Cagliari is solid. The issue is with him, Andrew, is that they paid I think over 20 million for him, so they're going to want a hefty. They're not going to want to take a huge loss. Again, it has to be low cost.
Yeah, but also Di Francesco knows how to use this guy. Like Nandez is playing. Yeah, is it still Di Francesco the Cagliari coach?
Yeah. Yep, Di Francesco.
Nandez, like he'll be like Di Francesco will deploy him on the right as a center, as a deep playmaking center midfielder, or as like right behind João Pedro and Simeone. And like, pardon?
Love João Pedro.
I thought you said he's shit. No, he's sick.
Oh no, he's sick.
I love that.
But yeah, like Andrew, like I thought that's a good. Do you have any other shouts? Like put in the chat if you do any other name shouts. It's tough to see it's tough to think of names. You know what I mean? It's tough to think of names just off the top of our head because there's a million players. And think about it, Rafael Leao. Who the hell talked about him before we even got linked to him? We didn't talk about him. No, like in Italy, they didn't really talk about. They didn't know him. So
he did. Yeah, he had a little bit of hype. I remember Bayern was reading into him, but like, hey, Milan were the first ones that put the offer in, and obviously Lille saw that huge cash offer, and they're like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Obviously, we're gonna accept him.
We also gave them Thiago. What's his name? Defender. No, Thiago Thiago Diallo, and then I think it was like 27 million or something like that. But yeah, honestly, guys, we're getting into the almost an hour of the show, and we always try to aim for 40 minutes, but it's tough.
We always have so much to talk about. So much.
How many guys do you get to talk Milan with? You know what I mean? Like not really that many because no one really cares.
Man, I didn't get to the Pioli slander. Damn.
I don't want. No one wants to hear that anyway. We already talked about it. but honestly, just to close it out, to Andrew, to everybody who to Pooty who put it in the chat. Thanks so much for listening and interacting with us. It's fun.
Thanks for participating, boys.
No, love doing it. Love answering questions.
Definitely come back for more. We're gonna do a pod soon.
Yeah, so we're gonna try. Everybody's kind of busy, school, work, but we'll try our best. And international break's kind of boring, but give Milan a chance to recharge. And so, just honestly, I just thank you so much for listening. And we're on YouTube, and then our podcast we upload to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and Google and iHeartRadio, and basically anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It's in our Twitter bio. And yeah, honestly, Andrew, anybody, if you guys have any suggestions, you ever want to come and talk, honestly, you guys want to come and talk a couple minutes on the show, let me know. Let us know. We would love that. The more the merrier.
I'd love that, bro.
Oh, of course. The more the merrier. And yeah, Marco, Umbi, any closing remarks you guys want to say? Marco, I'll ask you first.
Yes, all right. So I think, guys, there's a lot of Milan fans right now are nervous or scared. I think we're actually in a great period right now, even though, yes, that tie with Roma, tie with Verona, I'm not too worried. I think we go in, coming out of this international break, I think, those 2 weeks of preparation are going to be great. And I think we can pull out this win at Napoli. And I think we can surprise people even more. I think a lot of good things are yet to come.
Okay, my closing remarks. Yeah, basically, I don't want to keep saying the same stuff. Like, I didn't expect this, obviously. I expected something similar the way we closed out the season, but I did not expect first place after 7 weeks. Playing good, Pioli ball's in full effect. Just got to make sure that there's a plan for when Ibra steps down. Like when he's like, okay, I've guided you this much. I brought you this. I can't do stuff any longer. Like, I'm just hoping that there's like a real plan in place for after this season. But hey, that's still a long way to go. Milan's gonna keep winning, and we're gonna keep being happy. And in January, we're gonna get ourselves a Milan Badelj, and we're gonna be happy.
Hopefully, happy times are coming for Milanisti.
Or
I think we all deserve it. I think we've had enough of seeing other fan bases enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's more time. So
exactly. So yeah, we'll end it off here. Well, good chat to everybody who listened in. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Give us a comment, send us a DM, let us know. This is fun. Forza Milan. We're the Milan guys, and we're signing off. Ciao, guys.
Ciao, guys.
Maldini at the wheel. Let's go, Maldini at the wheel, Andrew. Okay, ciao, guys.
Bravo.
Ciao.